Have you ever paused for a moment and asked yourself, why do we chase happiness, yet the more we pursue it, the more lost we feel? Why do the dreams we cherished as children seem to fade, fragile as adulthood approaches? The story of Jeanne. In A Life by Guy de Maupassant whispers a truth we often forget sometimes. What we imagine as happiness is just a dream we haven't yet awakened from. Jeanne's journey is not merely that of a young girl seeking love. It reflects a universal experience, a path we all walk filled with hurt, disappointment, and betrayal. She once dreamed of a brilliant life, of moments charged with passion, and of a love as pure and warm as the morning sun. But life, in its quiet wisdom, taught her a painful lesson. Every beautiful dream carries a cost. Through every heartbreak, every shattered expectation, Jeanne came to understand a profound truth. Happiness does not lie in what we desire, but in how fully we embrace the present. Hi everyone, welcome back to Book Together, our journey together to explore endless stories and inspiration from the pages of books. Jeanne entered the world with an untouched heart, pure and full of hope. Growing up amidst the lush greenery of Normandy, she breathed in the fresh morning air and dreamed of a future bathed in light. Life to her was like an unwritten book, each page promising brilliance, each moment shimmering with possibility. The day she left the convent, Jeanne stood beneath the open sky, feeling a surge of readiness for a life brimming with miracles. She longed to love, to live, and to savor every moment. In her heart, the world seemed beautiful, overflowing with grace. All she had to do was open her arms and receive it. Maupassant painted these early days delicately. It's like a gentle melody. Jeanne walking along tree-lined paths, the wind brushing her face, her heart vibrating with youthful dreams. But Jeanne did not yet know that life often carries thorns beneath the soft green grass. One enters life as if stepping into a garden of flowers, unaware that beneath the beauty lies sharp thorns. At 17, Jeanne believed love would arrive like a fairy tale, where the prince is always faithful and happiness is endless. She never doubted, never feared, and never prepared for the harsh lessons that awaited her. Life, as it would soon reveal, could not always indulge her dreams. Then one summer day, Julien de Lamoureux entered Jeanne's life. He arrived like a warm breeze, carrying promises of passionate love and a future brimming with fulfillment. To Jeanne, Julien seemed like the very dream she had quietly penned in her youthful diary. The first time their eyes met, Jeanne's heart rang like a bell. That smile, that glance, that courteous manner tinged with subtle arrogance, every detail made her believe destiny had finally arrived. Jeanne believed. At last, happiness had knocked on her door. Afternoons were spent walking along the beach, the waves gently lapping at white sands. Jeanne listened as Julien spoke of grand plans and radiant futures. She absorbed his words, like a parched soul drinking the sweetest wine. Deep inside, she believed without hesitation. She didn't sense the chill behind his charm, nor the shadows lurking in his eyes. She saw only love, and trusted that it could save her life. But life rarely unfolds as our hearts dream. On her wedding day, Jeanne glowed in a white dress, and Julien looked every bit the elegant gentleman. Church bells rang, smiles shone, and congratulations floated through the air. Jeanne was convinced that from this day, her happiness had begun. Yet within weeks, Julien's mask began to crumble. The man who once seemed gentle grew irritable, rough, and at times cruel. Jeanne never imagined love could transform into such selfishness. Long into the nights, with Normandy winds whispering through her window, Jeanne lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking herself, why is the one I love so distant? Her first love, first dream, first marriage, all seemed adrift. Like a small boat tossed by stormy waves, the cracks widened into a chasm when Jeanne discovered Julien's affair with the family servant. In that moment, everything fell apart. No tears, only an eerie emptiness. Standing in the dark room, she listened to the sound of her heart breaking into countless pieces. It turns out, the most painful thing is not being betrayed, but realizing that the love you cherished never existed as you believed. And this heartbreak was only the beginning. Jeanne had no idea that far greater storms awaited. After the first sweet days of marriage, Jeanne began noticing faint cracks in her love for Julien. Warm mornings turned into long, empty nights. The man she had once trusted as a rock of support now seemed a stranger at first. Jeanne tried to soothe herself. It's just a phase. Every love has its difficult times. But day by day, the subtle signs of indifference, prolonged silences, evasive glances, and cold words weighed heavily on her heart. One summer afternoon, Jeanne found a letter hidden in Julien's desk drawer. It was brief, just a few lines, yet it shattered the world she had built. I miss you so much that I cry every night. When will we be free from these bonds so we can live together? The writer was not Jeanne. In that instant, her love crumbled. She stood frozen as the ticking clock echoed in her mind, stretching each second into an endless void. She felt as if she had lost a part of herself. Why? We swore to love each other forever. Yet real life seldom honors such promises. Julien offered no apology, no explanation, only silence. It was a quiet cruelty, making Jeanne feel invisible in her own marriage. Long nights curled by the window, moonlight spilling across the floor, she wondered, if I disappeared one day, would anyone notice? Perhaps this is the moment when we pause to ask ourselves, have we ever loved so deeply that we lost ourselves? Ever placed all hope in someone, only to be left with a hollow emptiness? Jeanne slipped into darkness, trapped with no escape. Every day she tried to summon strength, but memories, familiar sounds, or even empty chairs triggered tears. This was not only the pain of lost love, it was the collapse of faith in something she had trusted utterly. A friend once told her, Jeanne, love is like a mirror. When it breaks, no matter how hard you try to fix it, the cracks remain. Jeanne heard the words, but she clung to hope, trying to mend a love rotten from within. Without Julien, Jeanne began to lose her identity. She no longer knew who she was, what made her live, or what made her happy. Each morning, walking through empty rooms, she asked herself, if everything we believe in can vanish in an instant, what truly lasts? This is a question not only for Jeanne, but for all of us. In life, each of us may one day stand on the brink of doubt, doubting others, doubting ourselves. Even amid despair, something simmered within Jeanne, a desire to understand, to live, to be free. From this extreme pain, a tiny seed of change began to form. She didn't yet know where it would lead, but she felt, I cannot go on living like this forever. Jeanne began keeping a diary, pouring her unspoken feelings onto paper, wounds unseen. By others, questions left unanswered. For the first time in years, she truly listened to herself. Even after the storms of betrayal and loss, Jeanne felt a faint, persistent ember inside her, a whisper that life could not be all suffering. Each morning, As the first rays of sunlight touched the sea, she told herself, maybe. This isn't all maybe. Somewhere there's still a reason to continue. The questions began to surface. What is happiness? What is love? Why does betrayal hurt so deeply? What does it mean to exist? These questions, born from pain, slowly opened a path toward awakening. Jeanne often walked along the beach, letting the wind tangle her hair, the wet sand cold beneath her feet. The waves crashed relentlessly, yet in that vastness, she felt both small and free. She whispered to the ocean, "If one day I disappear, will anyone notice?" And in that silence, a realization began to form. Her worth did not depend on anyone else. In the days that followed, Jeanne began learning to sit quietly with her pain. She no longer sought comfort from others or clung to what was lost. Nights spent before half-burning candles, listening to rain tap the roof. She thought, if I have nothing left, then I have myself left, right? This was the first moment of true awakening. Jeanne realized that all betrayals and losses were not meant to destroy her. They were meant to shatter illusions she had once clung to. From the ashes of despair, a new self could emerge. One morning, stepping into the garden after a rain, Jeanne inhaled deeply. The sky was clear, the earth smelled sweet, and birds chirped. She understood. I have spent too many years hating. But hate doesn't free me. It only drags me deeper into the abyss. She began to practice forgiveness, not for others, but to free herself from the chains of the past. Whispering to the wind, I forgive you, not because of you, but because I deserve peace. And unexpectedly, her heart felt lighter. For the first time in years, breathing seemed easy. Jeanne began small. Mindful habits, planting flowers on the porch, walking each afternoon to watch the sunset, reading, drawing, writing in her diary. Most importantly, she learned to listen to herself. On blank pages, she wrote her fears, dreams, and unanswered questions. Slowly, she realized, I ran after love, ran after other people's expectations, but never really lived for myself. One evening, as the sun set, she watched her shadow stretch across the empty road and smiled. Life had not become easier, but for the first time, she felt whole. Jeanne's story is more than a tragedy. It is a mirror reflecting many of our lives. How often do we give our hearts to the wrong person, place trust where it doesn't belong, and end up in ruins? How often do we blame ourselves, feel useless, or lost? Jeanne teaches us we have the right to fall, but we must not give up. We can be betrayed, but we cannot betray ourselves. Any wound can heal with time and patience. Ask yourself, if I lost everything today, what would remain? And the answer is always myself. Autumn winds swept through the window, carrying with them the quiet scent of change. Jeanne stood before the familiar fields of her youth, once a symbol of endless light and possibility, now bathed in emptiness. Her golden hair, aided by sun and wind, her hands calloused by years of hardship, reflected the journey she had endured. Jeanne was no longer the innocent, dreamy girl of her past. She was a woman walking among fragments of herself, strong yet tender. Wounded yet awakening, she gazed deep into her heart and whispered, "Why is it all like this? I loved, I believed, I sacrificed, and in return, what do I get?" In that quiet moment, Jeanne faced the cruelest truth. On the road of life, no one comes to save us. There is no prince, no savior, it's only myself. In the following days, Jeanne learned to be silent, not empty, but mindful. She no longer sought comfort from others or clung to what was lost. Instead, she learned to sit with her pain, to feel it, and to understand it, nights spent before a flickering candle. Listening to the rain against the roof, she realized, if I have nothing left, then I have myself left, right? This was her first true awakening. The losses, betrayals, and pains were not meant to destroy her. They were meant to shatter illusions and allow a new self to be born from the ashes. One morning, stepping into the garden after a gentle rain, Jeanne took a deep breath. The earth smelled sweet, the sky was clear, and birds chirped joyfully. In that stillness, she understood. I spent too many years hating. But hate doesn't set me free. It only drags me deeper into the abyss. She practiced forgiveness, not for others, but for herself. Whispering softly to the wind, I forgive you, not because of you, but because I deserve peace. For the first time in years, her heart felt light. Breathing became easy, and with it came a gentle freedom. Jeanne began to nurture herself with small, meaningful habits. Planting vibrant flowers on the porch, walking every afternoon to watch the sunset. Reading, drawing, and journaling. Most importantly, she learned to listen to her own heart. On blank pages, she recorded her fears, dreams, and unanswered questions. Gradually, she realized, I ran after love, ran after other people's expectations, but never really lived for myself. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she watched her shadow stretch across the empty road and smiled. Life had not become less harsh, but for the first time she felt whole. I am full. Jeanne's story mirrors many lives. Often, do we give our hearts to the wrong person? How often do we place trust in the wrong hands, only to be left shattered? How often do we blame ourselves and feel lost? Jeanne teaches us, we have the right to fall, but we must not give up. We can be betrayed, but we cannot betray ourselves. Any wound can heal with time and patience. Ask yourself, if I lost everything today, what would remain? And the answer is always, myself. One quiet autumn evening, Jeanne sat on a wooden chair, gazing at the pale yellow lights illuminating the village street. She smiled slowly, deeply, not because the past had vanished, not because her wounds had healed, but because she no longer feared the darkness. She understood the light is not far away. It is always within our hearts. I only closed my eyes for too long. Tonight, Jeanne no longer dreams of a distant future. She learned to cherish the present moment, and in that moment, she found freedom. Jeanne went through love, pain, loss. And in the end, she found herself. Jeanne's story is not just a girl's story. It is a mirror reflecting our own lives. Sometimes we get lost, hopeful, and disappointed. But happiness is never at the destination. It lies in the steps, in the moments we dare to love, dare to believe, and dare to forgive ourselves. If you are on that journey, don't give up. Because, like Jeanne, you too will find your light. If this story touches your heart, please click like, subscribe, and leave a comment so we can share, listen, and accompany each other on the journey of finding ourselves.